Good afternoon and welcome to a City of Hartford Tax Increment District Number 13 Joint Review Board. This is our first meeting, and with us, I'll call this meeting to order. And then I will do introductions. Everyone is here that is on our little slip. We have with us, you can raise your hand as I read this, myself, Tim Mahalik, Mayor, Hartford Union High School representing for Rob Nelson, School District of Hartford Joint 1, Adam Jarris. Moraine Park Technical College, Carrie, it's Kezebeski, right? Mm-hmm. And, of course, Aaron Paul, our Chief Administrative Officer for Washington County.
Aaron Dahl.
Aaron Dahl, that's, what did I say?
Paul.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I thought I'd give you two first names.
Works for me.
Pick one.
It's actually cooler.
Yeah, it is.
Cooler.
It's very cool.
It is
yes.
cooler.
And the to-be-determined citizen member, Ken McCulloch, and that is one of the things that we will do next is we will have the selection of a public member. We do have one here. There's nobody else in the audience that has volunteered. Therefore, I would ask for a unanimous vote for selection of our public member, who happens also to be a county supervisor and citizen of the city of Hartford, Ken McCulloch. I have a motion to...
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. McCulloch as our citizen.
Thank you very much. Do we have a second?
A second.
And with a second. With any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, congratulations as our public member officially for TID 13. We have a selection of a chairperson. I would volunteer, but if anybody else would like to sit in this chair and run this, you are more than welcome. Please understand that. Otherwise, we would have to have the same process for selecting a chair for our TID 13 tax increment district meeting.
I'd make a motion to appoint Mayor Mahalik as the chairperson of the Joint Review Board.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
And then we also have a second. With a motion and a second, any further discussion? Any other opportunities for any chairperson? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you very much for your trust. We are already up to item number 6, and this is the review of the project plan and boundaries for TID number 13. With that, we do have with us Jacob Moss, who is our city planner. So thank you, Jacob. Right. It is all yours.
Thank you. Good evening. So this is how TID works. I don't know if I need to go over this. I think everyone kind of knows pretty much how a TID works. We freeze the taxes at the base value, and it stays the county school districts. There's 2 in this case, technical college and municipality, and then anything above that during the period of the TID goes into the TID itself for development as increment. So a mixed use TID, this TID is a mixed use TID, so 50% of the land had.
Well, I'm just going to ask our camera to have a picture of you so we can go back and forth rather than just the dais, if that's a possibility, so we can know the face with the name talking. Well, maybe not.
All right.
Okay, well, we'll
right.
Hopefully that'll change.
All right, so this will be our first mixed-use TID in the city of Hartford right now. So at least 50% of the land in the TID number 13 has to be classified as mixed-use area as defined under state statutes. So that is industrial, commercial, or residential. Residential land use cannot exceed 35% of the acreage at the end of the district's expenditure period. Here's the criteria matrix. Again, this is a 20-year TID. You can do a 3-year plus a 3-year extension on it, but as long as it's not receiving donation. But otherwise, it's just a 20-year TID for this type, for a mixed-use TID. This is the TID boundary. Again, as people were saying, it's hard to read the boundary or the streets. So the only reason I did this is because we had a half-mile boundary around it. Again, that's increment isn't being built up in that half-mile radius. It's just that area allows us to do expenditures outside of the TID boundary for any civil project. Here is the actual TID area. As you can see here is East Sumner Drive, State Highway 60, North Pike Lake Drive, Hilldale, and then County Trunk Highway K is on the very western edge of that. So there's 79 parcels altogether. 57 of the parcels are residential. However, 52 of those 57 are condos and are all on that 2030 Hilldale parcel up by the Aurora Medical Center. So the total acreage of TID number 13 is 48.283 acres. The total residential acreage of TID number 13 is 14.41 acres, so about pretty much 30% of the area is residential, so it's under that 35% acreage. The total 2024 assessed value of the TID was $41,742,400. And looking at the equalized value test, which is, again, we can't go over 12% of our equalized value in TID. Currently, we're at 5.14%, so we're way under the 12%.
Yeah, just on that point, so you know, the equalized value of the city that can be applied as of January 2024 is over $2 billion. So our a maximum allowable will be about 142,000. Right now, our TID value increment at approximately 62 million. We're going to add between 41 and 42 million. That's where that 5.14. So we're less than half
Yep.
of what we can do. And of course, we do pretty much pay-go TIDs, which means that we take very, very little risk for what we do for the city. So the statistical probability of anything going upside down, with deference to Menominee Falls, is something that I don't think you have to concern yourselves with. But thank you. Go ahead.
You're welcome. So this is, the meat of the subject here is the project areas. Project Area A is the reason why we're here tonight. That is just to the northeast of the Aurora Medical Center there, next to the Ridgedale senior condominiums there. That is, they're proposing to do a 96-unit assisted senior living facility, which will be attached to these condos. There's also a parcel to the south there that is undeveloped that could also be developed at some point using this money, as well as then we've also identified Project Area B, which are those two vacant parcels along State Trunk Highway 60 there, or East Sumner. There are some wetland issues there, but again, those are highly developable parcels there. And then Project C is our one municipal project. That is the extension of Shower Drive, which would help facilitate the development of the street there, which will connect to our satellite station. You can't use TID money for fire stations and municipal structures such as that, but we can use it for the roads. And because this is assisted senior living facility, ambulance need is required. So this will be a good project to be covered by the TID.
So that's the new fire station, or the.
That's sort of the satellite
Right,
station.
right,
It's
yeah.
the parcel to the south. It's not actually in the TID boundary because we
Correct.
just annexed it this year, so we can't technically put that in the TID
Correct.
because we annexed it this year.
But
Correct.
it's the dark highlighted.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And actually, that parcel to the north is the CPA. They're building a new office there.
Yep.
I believe we'll actually capture that increment in this because we're getting it approved before October, and it hasn't been put on the 2024 tax roll as an improvement. So we should be capturing that improvement as well. And again, zoom in on that area. Again, Project Area C, Shower Drive is on County Trunk Highway K. The 60 projects here on these two parcels located here. And then our main project area, Project A, next to the Aurora Medical Center. So these are our cash flow projections. The Shower Drive one, that's about a $400,000 development. We will probably be using utility bonds for this one from our sanitary utility to cover the cost of that. The heart of it is the developer bond, which is they're looking, instead of pay-go, they're looking for cash up front as a bond to pay for the loaning for the development of the 96-unit assisted living. And they're looking for $3 million for that. And then over the life of the bond, that will come out to $4,421,000. But our cash flow outside of the first year, which will be a negative, we're expecting a positive cash flow on this over the life of the TID. And then just to sum it up, this is our first joint review board meeting, and then there'll be plan commission. There will be a public hearing at the plan commission. That's when we'll get public comment. It'll go to the common council for resolution and approval, and then it'll go in front of the joint review board for its resolution and approval to be determined whether on agenda item 8, we'll figure that out. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. So then, going through the duties and obligations,
All right, and this is one I apologize, this one I gotta read.
I understand.
So, tax incremental district number 13, review of joint board
Can you do
duties.
me a favor?
Yep.
Because you speak very quickly, I just want the microphone a little closer
All
to
right.
you so we can get.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
All right, section 66.1105 of Wisconsin State Statutes makes provisions for the creation of a tax incremental district by Wisconsin governmental units. The creation of tax incremental districts require the public involvement of the taxing entities in which the district is proposed. This participation is provided under the statute through the organization of a joint review board comprised of one representative chosen by the school district that levies taxes on the property within the proposed district, one representative chosen by the technical college that has the power to levy taxes on the properties within the proposed district, one representative chosen by the county that has the power to levy taxes on the property within the tax incremental district, and one representative chosen by the city. In addition, a public member is required. In the case of community with a union school district, the elementary school district and the union high school district each provide a member to the joint review board, which is the case for Hartford, and the school district vote is split between them. In each case, the member of the joint review board are intended by statute to be board presidents, executives, or their designees. Preference should be given to those designees with the knowledge of local government finance. The joint review board of a tax increment district is required by Wisconsin statute to review the public record and either approve or reject the creation of the district. This authority is granted in order to prevent the limitation of new construction property valuation increases within these taxing entities without the approval of the majority of them. In order to create a tax incremental district, the city must conduct a public hearing by its plan commission. The plan commission may approve the resolution recommending the boundaries of the district, its zoning, and its conformity to the city's comprehensive plan. The plan commission also renders an opinion as the feasibility and legality of the project plan and votes whether or not to approve the project plan. Finally, the plan commission makes a recommendation through its resolution whether or not the city should approve the creation of the district. This public hearing goes before the plan commission. It's scheduled for Monday, September 9th at 5:30 p.m. in this chamber. It is a formal hearing and the public is encouraged to participate. Although your presence is not required, you are certainly invited to attend as the taxing entities. Assuming the plan commission approves a resolution creating TID number 13, the matter then moves to the Common Council of the City of Hartford on Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. The Common Council will be asked to approve the project plan and resolution approved by the plan commission, as well as the development agreement between the city and the developer. This agreement is only subject to approval by the Common Council, although its existence must be disclosed to the deliberative bodies and the public and found consistent with the tax incremental district law. You each should have received a copy of the draft project plan for TID 13. This will also provide a final form prior to your second and final meeting. Assuming the Common Council approves the district on September 24th, this joint review board will convene again in this room on a date to be chosen to approve and set of findings with respect to the creation of the district. If this body approves the creation of TID 13, your chairperson will sign a letter to that effect notifying the city of Hartford of that decision. At that point, the work of this joint review board will conclude. The board will reconvene in the future if the project plan is amended, the district timeline is extended, or for other various reasons. The city of Hartford will be then required to file a large volume of paperwork with the Wisconsin Department of Revenue prior to October 31st. This will lead to the formal creation of TID 13 and certification of the base value for the district effective January 1st, 2024. The Joint Review Board has the authority to submit its decision to the Wisconsin Department of Revenue with a request that the state review the objective facts contained in any of the documents associated with the creation of the district in order to determine if the information submitted to the board complies with state statute. The Joint Review Board also has the authority to request the city resolve problems in its proposal and resubmit the proposal for the creation of the district to the Joint Review Board. Because these are extraordinary actions, I suggest that any actions, questions with respect to the project plan, the TID boundaries, et cetera, be presented to the city either in this evening or to me at City Hall at any time prior to the second meeting of the Joint Review Board. If a question arises in this fashion, I will provide response to all members of the Joint Review Board in advance of the second meeting. Assuming things proceed smoothly, the Joint Review Board will be asked at its second meeting to provide by majority decision, a resolution approving the project plan and district boundaries of tax increment district number 13. That resolution would also include affirmative statements by the Joint Review Board concerning the set of criteria or findings. Wisconsin law identifies 3 mandatory findings for the creation of a tax incremental district. They are that the development expected in the tax incremental district would not occur without the use of tax increment financing. This is commonly referred to as the but-for test. That the economic benefit of the tax increment district as measured by increased employment, business, and personal income and property value are sufficient to compensate for the cost of the improvements. That the benefits of the proposal outweigh the anticipated tax increments to be paid by the owners of the property in the overlying tax districts. In addition to these findings, the joint board will be asked to find the debt. The district will be named by the City of Hartford Tax Increment District number 13. That that the TID 13 boundaries are acceptable under Wisconsin law, that the plan for the property is in conformance with the city's existing land use plan, that the improvement of this area is likely to enhance significantly the value of property within the district and in the surrounding neighborhood, that the cash grants which are included within the development agreement and project plan directly relate to the promotion of economic development consistent with the purpose for which the tax increment district is being created, that the equalized value of the taxable property of the district plus the value increment of all existing districts does not exceed 12% of the total equalized value of the taxable property within the city of Hartford, that the creation resolution approved by the Common Council on September 24th is approved by the Joint Review Board, that these findings, as well as the vote of the Joint Review Board, be communicated to the city of Hartford within 7 days, and finally, that the grants of the economic development funds identified in the proposed development agreement between the developer and the city of Hartford are necessary to fill the project plan approved by the Plan Commission and Common Council. The objective evidence supporting each of these findings is included within the project plan you were provided. If the Joint Review Board objects to any of these findings, it must provide a written explanation of its objection. All documents requiring involvement by the Joint Review Board will be prepared for you in advance of the second meeting. That concludes my review of Joint Board duties and obligations, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. And just for our vast audience that is viewing this now or in the future, just so you are aware, all the taxing entities, that if you look at your bill when you get it, well, the city sends it, but only about 29% of that property tax bill actually is the city. The majority goes to the two school districts, of course, which are Joint 1 and HUHS at about 58%. And then we have the county and the technical college, right? So those are the five taxing entities all represented here, as well as a citizen member to make sure that we're covered with showing that we're doing everything possible to do our due diligence so that everything is properly represented, which is what, you know, you stated out in your statement that you are forced to read. So, but thank you for that. Just as a quick meaning of explanation, what happens is the current tax rate and the current value of the property, those tax dollars continue to go to the five taxing entities. That does not change. What the increment is, as this is built out, the taxable value, if you will, of these properties is going to go up, which means their taxes are going to go up. When those taxes are paid, rather than going to the taxing entities, these are the dollars that are used to do improvements within the tax increment district, which is the 14-plus acres and then 1/2 mile around that particular property, and the city makes that decision. What we do, when you hear the phrase pay go TID, what we're doing is we're making sure to absolutely limit as much as we can any risk on the city, especially as far as the taxpayers. A 20-year TID, like you said, with a 3-year extension, the 20 years means that this will exist for 20 years, where the taxing entities will continue to get the money that is current with the value of the property and not the increment, which is represented by this being built out. Which means that in 20 years, it's Christmas time. And all of a sudden, all of these entities will see the money switching over to them. And as you had heard, it passes a but-for test. This project would not be done but for the fact that this is being made available and that increment is actually going to assist in the build-out of the property that is available to be developed. And like our city planner mentioned, some of that is fairly valuable right on Highway 60. So we're looking forward. In fact, when I looked at the numbers, I was thinking, these are fairly conservative numbers. I mean, we could literally see more than the $4.421 million coming out of this. And I think that, again, to mitigate any type of a real risk, we're going to be in a very good position with this particular TID. And if you are all still the members, every year, because of state statute, we get to look at all of these and see how they're doing. So we get to track them on a yearly basis, along with the other tax increment districts that we're working on. How many active ones do we have right now?
Yes, is it 6?
6,
That's
yes.
what yeah, okay.
Well, this is number 7.
Yes.
Correct. So we'll have 7 that are currently going along, and then as those mature, those dollars pour into the tax increment districts, or excuse me, those folks here that are representing all of the different areas that get your tax dollars. And of course, something like that is really nice because it helps keep down the levy. I am not a big fan of the government getting into this with TIDs or tests. The straight out, I really wish it was more of a straightforward thing. However, this exists. If we don't use it, our competition will, and our competition is every city, every village, every town, I don't know that towns can set up TIDs, but every city and village that can actually set up TIDs. When it comes to things like this, we are in competition with the rest of the municipalities in the state. So because of that, we are very judicious in what we bring forward, and we do everything that we can to lock down the risk and make sure that we have the best possible outcomes. And I think that the city staff has done a wonderful job. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor.
With that, we want to select our next date and time for the board meeting. You've seen them on here. We have it either Wednesday, the 25th of September, Thursday, the 26th of September, it specifically says after 5, or Monday, September 30th, before 6:30. So I would, does anybody have a specific date that they can or would like it, or a date of these 3 that they definitely cannot make it? So we would scratch it. So we'd be looking at Wednesday, Thursday, Monday. Personally, Thursday seems to work for everybody here, so I would suggest the 26th after 5 p.m. When it says after, that means we can start at 5?
Yes,
Or we just do it at 5:30 like we did this one?
we could do it 5:30 or 5 if 5 works for everyone.
Will that meeting last any longer than the 20 minutes we've taken? I would imagine it would be shorter.
It's just passing the resolution for the most part. Any
Okay,
other
so that could
comment?
be a very short
The
meeting.
Thursday, the 26th, does not work for me, actually.
Either doesn't work.
Well, I kind of scratched that one.
So,
Okay, does Wednesday, the 25th, it'll be a very short meeting, but a meeting that, you're going to be representing yours, so I would, does 25th work?
No, unfortunately not. The 30th is the only date that would work.
Well, that makes it pretty simple then. Anybody else?
As long as it's quick. 'cause
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
we're-
a 5:45 school board meeting on the 30th, but otherwise I think.
We are talking quick. You could probably
yeah.
walk to your school board meeting from here, so.
I'm good.
Okay, so we have an understanding. I mean, we don't have to actually pass it to my knowledge. I'll just, as the chair, announce that we are going to do this Monday, September 30th. It says before 6:30, so we'll put it down at 5:30 on Monday, September 30th, 2024 will be, and you are going to present to everybody via email everything that we need so we can look at that. If we have any questions, comments, concerns, get it back to you. If not, we'll just have what's in front of us, and we're going to vote on it, and that's it.
Correct, Mayor.
That good? Wonderful, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate all of you coming here, being on time, and worked real well. We stand adjourned to the call of the chair.